Yo, what up guys? Welcome to my video, Jack's off to another adventure. Now that I'm done with all my Fiji videos, I've been getting a lot of questions about my experiences. So I thought I'd make a video, throw in some QA session, some tips, and maybe how I really felt about Fiji. This way, if you're ever planning a trip to Fiji, you can have something to reference to. Alright, real quick. Fiji is an island country located in the South Pacific Ocean, about 1,300 miles northeast of New Zealand. There's over 300 islands in Fiji, with the main island, also the largest, being Viti Levu. Most tourists visit Fiji looking for nice island getaways, so tourism is great especially in the Mamanuca Islands and the Yasawa Islands, which is where I went. Alright, now let's jump straight into the QA session. First question, why Fiji? Well, I really wanted to go relax and chill on a tropical beach, but the main reason is because I found really cheap tickets to Fiji. Also, most Americans go to Hawaii for island getaways, so Fiji is relatively unknown to Americans, and I like doing things that are not too mainstream. How much were the plane tickets? So I'm from San Francisco, and yes, they do have direct flights from San Francisco to Nandi. Now, round trip tickets are usually a little more than $1,000, but I did get a super good deal, and this is what I paid. Alright, so the base price was $427, and with taxes and fees, it came out to close to $600. How did you score such cheap tickets? So one day, I was just mindlessly surfing the web, and I came across this article that had the deal. Now, I put the link in the description so you can reference to it, but I'm sure that offer is expired, but I'm also sure they're gonna have some other deals from some other places for some other time. How long was the flight from San Francisco to Nandi? So from San Francisco to Nandi, it took about 11 hours, and from Nandi back to San Francisco, that took about 10 and a half hours. Now here's the question that everybody wants to know. How much did everything cost? So first, I've converted everything to US dollars, and here are the prices for everything I spent on, except for a few miscellaneous stuff like souvenirs, or things I forgot about. Plane tickets, I just explained, it was $600 round trip. The Yasawa Flyer from Nandi to Waia Island was $81. Now there's more information about this, but I'll talk about it a little later. The homestay was $25 a night. For 4 nights, plus service fees, it came out to $113. Now at the homestay, you do have to pay for a lot of stuff, like the meal plan, which was $30 for 4 days. The guided hike was $10. Snorkeling with reef sharks, $30. Snorkeling with manta ray, $50. Visiting the Namada school, it was $10, but I also donated $25 to the school because I believe education is very important. The boat ride from Waia to Lautoka, $50. One night at the Tanoa Waterfront Hotel in Lautoka, $120. Now I did choose Suite Life, which is a little bit more expensive. Quest Apartment Hotel, it was $100 a night, so for 2 nights it was $200. The bus ride with Pacific Express bus from Lautoka to Suva was $10, and from Suva to Nandi Airport was $9. The taxi ride from Nandi Airport to the port where I caught the Yasawa Flyer was $15. Now we did stop at a ghetto market to get the kava, and speaking of kava, I spent $15 on that. The taxi from Quest Apartment to the Nazuri Airport by Suva was $15. And on the way back from Nazuri Airport to Suva to Quest Hotel was also $15. And when I was in Levuka, I took a taxi from the airport to the town of Levuka and back. Now Moon charged me $20, but I gave him $25 anyways because he was like a tour guide. And now the food. The chicken curry and the spicy chicken I got in Lautoka came out to $7 total. When I was in Suva, the sit-down Indian restaurant was $15 for a meal and a drink. The burger, steak, and chips in Levuka was $5, and that was a lot of food. When I went to McDonald's, I got the 2-piece chicken meal with large fries and OJ, and that came out to be $7. At the Nandi Airport, I got 1 Whopper from Burger King, and that was $7.50. A large bottle of Fiji water was about $2, which is way cheaper than the ones here in America. And last but not least, the Hyphy juice I got in the Namada village, which is really water mixed with powder, that came out to be $2 a bottle, and I got 2 bottles that day. So if you were to add all that up, it comes out to be about $1,500 give and take for 7 days. Whew, that was a long answer, so let's get to the next question. What is the currency exchange rate? So give and take, $1 is about 2 Fijian dollars. And let's check out these colorful Fiji banknotes. They do come in different sizes, so if you're blind, you can still differentiate them. How long did it take you to plan this trip? So I spent about a week trying to figure out what I really wanted to do. And once I realized what I wanted to do, it took about another week to really plan out the little details. What do you do in Fiji? Go watch my videos and hit like and subscribe now. What is kava and what is the importance behind it? So kava is this plant where Fijians like to grind the roots into powder and then mix it with water to create a kava drink. The kava drinks are supposed to take you to a different state of mind, mainly relaxation. Kava is also a typical gift you would bring when you're visiting a village or a gift in general. And yes, Fijians love getting high off of kava. What is Fiji time? Island life is known to be very relaxing and very chill. So Fiji time just means don't worry about time, take it easy, relax. Is snorkeling with sharks safe? Now there's different types of sharks, and the ones I swam with were reef sharks. These sharks are not known to be aggressive towards humans, and you can even pet them. And I went with a whole bunch of people and no one got bitten. So there you go. What languages are spoken in Fiji? So there's 3 main languages in Fiji. You got English, Fijian, and Hindi. So some of the younger kids, they might not speak much English, but English is pretty much universally spoken in Fiji. How safe is Fiji? Honestly, I felt extremely safe in my entire duration in Fiji, but people did warn me about Suva being dangerous at night and there might be some pickpockets. So just use some common sense and be careful. What was the weather like? So I went to Fiji in mid to late October. It was still pretty warm and humid, about 80 degrees. When I was on the Yasawa Islands, it was sunny for the most part, but once I got back to the main island of Viti Levu, it was pretty much raining every day. What was the most interesting thing you ate? Breadfruit. Looks like a sweet fruit, tastes like a potato. How did you get your own private jet? You can be extremely rich, you can have very good lip service, or you can be like me and fly somewhere no one really goes to, like Levuka. How did you even find Levuka? Alright, so whenever I'm planning a trip, especially to somewhere where I've never been to, I tend to open up Google Maps and just click around and try to find as many information as I can. And when I clicked on Levuka, there was actually some information about it, so I decided to research further into it, and that's how I found out about Levuka. But yes, it took a lot of random clicking. What was your favorite part of the trip? Well, so it really wasn't any specific moment. It was more like having a nice beach right outside your house where you can just go hang out, go swim, go snorkel, go watch the sunrise, the sunset, with nothing to worry about. And what was the worst part? Mosquitoes, but that's because I'm a mosquito magnet. Other than that, it was the fact that I only had 7 days to spend in Fiji. Definitely not enough time. And last question from a very close friend, why didn't you take me? Because you didn't like my video and you didn't subscribe. So do it now! Now, if you have a question that I didn't answer, comment in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And now I'm gonna throw in some tips should you plan on going to Fiji too. Now, there are plenty of things to do in Fiji besides hanging out on the beach, so do your research. Originally, I wanted to do this 5-day trek from Suva to Nandi and on the way visiting different villages. But after all, I was like, nah, I just want to chill on the beach. But if you're interested in that 5-day trek, I provide the link below in the description. You can go check it out. You can also go check out the Taveuni Island, which is more like a rainforest with lots of trees and waterfalls. And Fiji also has a lot of famous dive spots, so if you're into scuba diving, check it out too. Tip number 2. If you do plan on staying in a homestay in the Yasawa Islands, just keep in mind the living conditions are very basic and simple. Leave all your entitlement and expectations at home or go book a resort. They do have resorts on the islands too, so it really depends on what you want. A cheap homestay with a more authentic experience or a more high quality resort. Tip number 3, if you're planning to stay in the Yasawa Islands, you're gonna have to pay for meal plans and guided trips. So when you're booking your accommodation, just make sure you read carefully. On Wais and LA's Airbnb posts, they do list all the details, so just make sure you read all the details so you don't get hit with something you don't expect. And also, if you have any questions, you can communicate with the host. And don't forget to bring enough cash for all these activities you want to do. Tip number 4, if you're going to an island like the Yasawas, you do have to take a ferry or a boat. The most common one is the Yasawa Flyer, but they do have different companies like the Sea Bus. Or like me, you can arrange a boat ride with a homestay. Now, if you do plan on taking the Yasawa Flyer, I put the link in the description so you can check out their schedule and the price. Also, if you plan on island hopping, you might want to get the Bula Pass. It's cheaper in the long run. It just depends on how many islands you want to go to. Tip number 5, there's no share rides like Uber and Lyft in Fiji, but they do have a whole bunch of taxis. And my last tip, now Fijians are typically very friendly, but still use some common sense and protect yourself. Alright, now let's get to how I really felt in Fiji, the homestay experience. Now when I first arrived at the Namara village, they were like, oh, now you're family now, everything we do, you do, everything we eat, you eat. But I can't help but feel like I was more of a cash cow rather than a family member. Everything was like, hey, you gotta pay for this kind of activities. Oh, if you wanna go on a hike, you wanna go swim with sharks, you gotta pay. Can you pay now? So yeah, that's why I felt more like a cash cow rather than a family member. And speaking of the hike, that was probably the worst experience on the island. Now, my guide was Rise, who wasn't a bad person, but like I said, she was a really bad guide, especially when I'm paying for it. So as a guide, she didn't bring water or a flashlight. So she drank all my water, and we had to use my phone as a flashlight on our way down. And also on our way up, she kept taking breaks every like 5 minutes because she wasn't in shape. You know, it's not a big deal except for the fact that I had to pay for it. Now they do have limited resources on the island, but I pretty much had carb on carb every meal. And what happened to the fish that I helped collect? At least the fruits were fresh and delicious though. And the whole experience with snorkeling with reef sharks. Now in my video, I did explain that there were too many people that kind of ruined the experience, but it was still fun. But on another note, those people, they went back to their homestay and resorts, whereas they took me to go watch spearfishing, which is pretty cool. Now even though at times I did feel like a cash cow, when we went snorkeling with the manta rays, Wais really put in a lot of effort. And ultimately, we did see the manta rays. The kids would be kids. Now, my experiences in Levuka was pretty chill. It was like a pleasant surprise because when I met Moon, my taxi driver, not only was he a taxi driver and a mailman, he also became my tour guide. And my experience with the people in general, they're pretty friendly. But when you see a guy like me with yellow complexion, you can't help but be very curious because most of the tourists there are white complexion from Europe and Australia. And yes, I did get konnichiwa a few times there. Alright, so in conclusion, I had a wonderful time in Fiji, but I didn't want to fabricate my videos for likes and subscribers. I want it to be as honest as possible, so like and subscribe for honesty. And again, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I've also provided some links below, so in case you wanted to plan for your own Fiji trip, you can reference them as well. Alright guys, that concludes this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you guys for watching. Until my next series, Jack is off!